Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel Tech by Isha. I'm Isha, a software engineer. I work in AI and backend staff. If you watch my reels on Instagram or shorts on YouTube, you know by now that I love explaining tech in the most simplest and fun way possible. But today is different. Today is my first ever long form podcast on this channel, and for this, I'm inviting someone special, one of my batchmates and my coding partners, that is Siddharth. So let's admit him and we'll be meeting Siddharth. Hi Siddharth, welcome to the channel.
Hey, hi Isha, how are you?
So I would just like you to introduce yourself first and then we'll continue with the questions.
Sure. So, hey, hi guys, I'm Siddharth and I'm originally from Lucknow. And I am currently working with Amazon as a SysDE-II. I have a work experience of 2 years in total. And previous to Amazon, I have worked with multiple startups like File, Salary Box, and Pocket FM. And yeah, that's all. Today I'm here to help you and guide you a little bit on things, how it works on DSA and how to get into big tech or startups.
Great, great. So basically, today's video will be all about Siddharth and his journey. As people who have their LinkedIn caption as okay, SD2 at Amazon or something of the sort, people who are not at the present working at big companies, they always think that they got lucky. But that's not the truth. Every achievement takes a lot of hard work and nobody shows the real side to it. I mean, okay, some people do get lucky, but it's not always the case. And mostly, let me tell you, it's not the case. I think Siddharth will agree to me, right?
Yeah.
Just a quick, short irony of the story I'd like to share. Me and Siddharth are batchmates, and we are the batch of 2023. While in college, we were preparing, we used to share our notes and all, and we used to work together towards preparing for Amazon. And we failed miserably, by the way. But yeah, so few months forward, he got into Amazon, and I'm really proud of him. So I'm just going to, help you guys through him to share insights on how you could get into it, how you could get promoted. By the way, he also recently got promoted, so congrats on that as well.
Yeah, thanks.
So, could you please share your journey from maybe college days, how you first applied for Amazon and then did not really got into it? Further on, how did your journey go and you eventually landed up here? Also, in this, I would really like to know about your mindset shift, because
hmm
I feel mindset really plays an important role while you have bigger goals. So I really want to know what changed your mindset in a way that in the second time you actually got into that company.
Got it.
Yeah.
So back in college, I think Amazon came 23 batch, as we all know, like it was
Right.
not that great because our hiring became frozen mid of the interviews. So the story was like that when the campus placement started. I think I had few interviews lined up, one with IBM, one with Amazon, one with HSBC. Yeah, I had these three interviews that were lined up. So
Right.
IBM got into freeze that they didn't get any interviews done. Same happened with Amazon. Like it also went into freeze. I think there were some interviews that happened. I don't know on
Yeah.
what basis did they occur, or and only few folks got a chance to sit
Yeah, I
on the
remember. It
interviews.
was the start of this
I
whole
think it was just
thing, right?
random luck, or the initial what do we say? Screening is kind of a luck thing. So that initial screening didn't happen, and we couldn't get a chance. I think both of us.
Yeah.
After that, we couldn't get a chance, and then the third one was HSBC. HSBC, the interview was like they had two separate rounds. I still remember. First one was the normal technical round. It was pretty much
Right.
straightforward. It's completely based on Java, and the questions, I will say, it's very like easy only because they were just pattern printing, the normal pattern printing that people do in during the first year, and some string related questions that you have to count the vowels and these things. So that was the question that they asked in the interview. It was pretty much straightforward, but the interviewer focused a lot on the projects, majorly because I had projects that were related to Java and
Right.
Spring. And I think still a lot of students who are in their BTech, they run behind MERN stack, and that has also, put a surge of
Agreed.
developers who know MERN. Like when MERN started, it was more on the lines that people in the market didn't know MERN, and there was more demand and less supply. But over the years, like all of the folks that got in college started doing MERN, and everyone was like
Yeah,
MERN.
definitely. There's a conversion to full stack now.
Yeah, so that was a conversion point of the full stack. But yeah, my projects were mostly in Java. So the LAN HSBCs and major big tech companies that are sitting out there, their tech stack, the major part runs on Java or Python. So he cross questioned me a lot of things about Java classes, how is multi-threading working, what are the different project I made and everything. That round pretty much went well, but my HR didn't go that well, and I got a rejection from HSBC. Post that, I didn't had any opportunities on the campus. So
Immediately, you mean?
sorry.
Immediately, you mean, right?
Yeah, immediately I didn't had any opportunities, and I think that was the end of placement season as well. Like
Yeah,
HSBC came at pretty much the end of the season, and after that there were no major tech companies coming in. Post that,
yeah.
then I went off campus, and there was this startup called Salary Box. So one of our college seniors, I forgot his name, like he's a batchmate of my brother. My brother, with it, he asked me to, just put him a text on LinkedIn. And at the same time, I also reached out to the founder of the company, Piyush Goyal, and I pinged him and I was like, hey, I'm looking for a job. If you want, please give me a try for an interview and all those things. I sent out a cold message to him, and luckily he replied that day, and I got an interview round within the same week. So when it came to salary box, the interview was pretty much very different. They were more focused on DSA and problem solving.
Right.
Like started with dynamic programming and everything, and then
And also, I'm sorry I have to interrupt. I just have this like very basic, genuine question. I think a lot of people might think and assume that you were always good at DSA.
Mhm.
So was it always the case, like you were really excellent at DSA, or you were like the pro, like okay, everyone maybe might be contacting you for DSA? Was it the case, or you just built your skill over the time?
No, it's more over the time kind of a thing that happened.
Right.
DSA is like it's majorly you can relate it to the concept of gym in real life. Like as much as you do, the
Right,
more better it
exactly.
gets, and the
Definitely.
more better you go. So I started off back with DSA when I was in second year of my like first year. My cousin introduced me to competitive coding and everything. Back then we had Hacker Earth, and it was very famous as a platform. So I started off with Hacker Earth, and then he slowly eventually told me to move to Code Chef, and then Code Chef used to run these 1 month long contests where they used to have 6 or 7 problems.
Yeah.
And after Code Chef, and during that time we didn't had much of these like YouTubers and all present.
Yeah, not much of awareness, agreed to that. Also, I
Like
think our seniors were into COVID zone.
yeah,
So,
so during that time we didn't had Love Bubber and all. Like they came when we were in the final year. So
yeah, I know.
in the
Definitely.
initial phase we didn't had any of the guidance or anything, but there were few college seniors who created a group of competitive coding, and they started this culture in the college. So from there, I got to know about this place as well, Coding Club India. Uh,
Yeah.
it's run by a person called Rishabh Jain, and back then I read a Quora post about it. He's like the Jitu Bhaiya in the factory, and I was like, okay, people are saying so much about it. Let's give it a try.
Give it a
I
try,
bought
of
the course,
course.
and I gave it a try. And actually, that course changed things around me because he started from zero, but he explained very difficult concepts about DP and
Yeah.
trees and recursion that were very, in the initial phase, if anyone takes it up, it becomes like Greek and Latin. It legit felt like Greek and Latin back then, and slowly, I understood okay how
Understood.
this is working, and how to find patterns in the problems. If a problem states this, you can try this algorithm, and he basically gave the path, and slowly I started building upon those things, and that's how I got a knack of competitive coding.
Understood. Coming back to your journey, so you got into Salary Box as your first company, which was
Yeah,
your offline opportunity as well.
yeah.
And okay, so what happened further?
So salary box, they hired me as a backend developer, but it was a very small startup back then. I think right now, so they have scaled a lot.
Yeah.
They are in, I think, uh, series funded, I guess. They crossed the seeding line.
Okay.
So back then when I joined, it was a tech team of 10 people, including two interns, one founder, and rest there were some senior
Must
engineers.
be crazy then.
Yeah, yeah, like that time it was very crazy, and it was a very small kind. The meeting rooms that I have in Amazon today was our office back then. I still feel that. So it was that small of a space where I used to work. So the one thing that I learned from Salary Box was like they hired me as a backend engineer. They gave me 1 week of time, and they told me, ki, go and learn
Mm.
front end, learn React, JavaScript, learn how
Mm-hmm.
Redux work. And once I came back, I was like, yeah, I have this idea, I can do it. And then they just casually come up and they say, okay, you have to build a CRM of a company. At first, I
Mm.
was like, what is a CRM? Then I went back and I studied, okay, it's a customer relation management.
Mm.
It was a very big portal with multiple pages and multiple features. And they were like, we need to deliver it by April. I was like, okay, I
Definitely.
joined in March and I started coding it down. And by mid of April, I gave the first demo to the sales team and they pretty much liked it. There were some feedbacks and all.
Right.
And I got
So
a
you were with them for how long? From
I
what
was
time
there
to?
for 3 or 4 months. So I
Right.
got sick in between due to I got jaundice and also had to leave the company because that time my health
Right.
got very bad. I was in a very bad shape, so I had to leave the company and have to head back home. And the same, like that time, did realize the importance of health because usually, I
Definitely.
do feel that in this culture where we are starting our careers,
Mm.
at times we do neglect ourselves. And that time when I was, in the hospital, I was like, okay, not
I do
money or this thing
remember.
is everything in life.
Of
You
course.
should also look for about yourself. Like अपने बारे में भी सोचना चाहिए. ऐसा नहीं है कि
Definitely, definitely. And I think with startups, it's especially with small startups, it's definitely the case because I worked with one and I understand. I was doing full stack, though I was back end. So, agreed
Mm,
totally. It's actually crazy, but the learning part is crazy as well. It's like
mm.
really good too.
Yeah.
So, after that, what company did you join and how long? What were you doing there too?
After that, I got this offer from this startup called File, and it was a two-round process. File has a very different hiring process. Like I have given interviews for multiple companies, but what File has is completely different. Like they don't ask DSA or anything. So they will reach you out, they will give you a Git repo, and that repo will have certain APIs that you have to complete.
Understood,
Complete
understood.
those APIs, they will have a call, and in that call they will cross question everything.
Hmm.
Like they are more into things like, why did you do this way only, why didn't you use some other
Hmm.
library, and how did you tackle this problem, why
Yeah.
didn't you do this, and everything. So File was more on those lines, and they created this Git repo where there was some code I had to complete, few APIs. I did those APIs, and then the standard interview happened. And that was a complete backend role. Although File was a startup, but they were at a bigger scale. I think they were
All
Series B or
right.
C funded,
Hmm.
so they were at operating at a much bigger scale, and there it was pretty much structured the way that they were delivering things and everything. And it was a complete. It's a. I think it's still a complete remote company or something. I don't know much, but yeah. So there I was working for 6 months. I interned there, and I couldn't get a full time opportunity that
Yeah.
time at File. So that shift happened, and after that happened, I didn't had any opportunities. Like for 1 or 2 months, I was just sitting idle,
Right.
and in between, I did start
I think
preparing for
recession was still going on, right, at that point as well. I think it's,
the college.
yeah, yeah, no, even during your
Hmm.
this company time, I think also at that time, recession was still going on its
Yeah,
peak.
discussion was still going on. That was one of
Yeah.
the reasons that File had to let go of the
I think
interns on
actually
File.
it started when we were in like
Yeah,
fourth year something, right?
yeah, yeah.
Not sure, maybe third or fourth, but I do
Fourth
remember.
year ending when the placement was there, so a lot of
Yeah,
companies were freezing
exactly.
their hiring drives or letting go of their interns.
Yeah.
So that was happening, and I had the same experience happened with File back then as well.
Yeah. Okay.
So at that time, the market was very, in a very
Unstable.
bad state. So,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah,
I was not
even
getting
I
any,
went off campus. That's the same reason because
yeah,
I found that everything was going or,
mm,
frozen,
yeah.
extended.
Half of the I still remember after joining Amazon, we had some of our college buddies who were, just sitting and they're like,
Mm.
yeah, we're still waiting for our offer letters to be in
I know, right?
because they're extending the dates and the companies are still in the freeze period and everything. So yeah,
Yeah.
that was happening.
Okay,
So
so after this experience, how did it go? In those 1 to 2 months, how was your mindset shift? Was it like, you know, insecure about getting a job, or was it about that, okay, I have to still deal with it, maybe learn more, or what was it about?
So, frankly speaking, here, like after that thing didn't get converted, I had good hopes on it, and I did strike a road. Like, okay,
Yeah,
right now I think I might need to change my direction. Because I was not getting any interview calls for a long
right,
period of time,
right.
and I thought that okay, I'm from a tier three college, and that's why I'm not getting it done because it's not happening. So I was like, okay, let's change our directions and start preparing for GATE.
Yeah,
So I got a course, I bought an online course for GATE and everything. But I don't know, something did stuck back in the mind that it's like I think I made a very, decision in like बिना सोचे
hurry,
समझे बहुत
like,
जल्दी जल्दी
right.
उसने डिसीजन ले लिया कि
कि कुछ
गेट
तो
करना
अब
है।
करना है मतलब अब वी कांट वेस्ट द टाइम
हाँ,
अंडरस्टूड
तो जब वो स्टार्ट किया तो उसके बाद it started feeling very weird, sitting at home and just preparing and while your colleague like
या
your batchmates are doing jobs and everything. So for me, it
आई
got a little bit
अंडरस्टैंड
depressing during that time. So I contacted one of my other cousins and I was like, hey, I'm not getting any callbacks or anything. If you have someone who is hiring, and also he's like, yeah, I have one friend who recently is hiring for an freshers role. If you're interested, just send across your resume.
या
So that time, I sent across my resume to that person, and again, I started applying for multiple companies. So during that time, I think it was peak interview season for me in 2023. I think it will be 3 or 2023 ending. Yeah, 2023 ending. Like we passed out in July.
जुलाई जून
So
आई थिंक जून
June. So around
राइट
August, it was a peak time for me for giving interviews because once I created my resume again, updated everything, and that time I started applying very diligently. It was to the point where I reached the LinkedIn's throttle. Like I got to know that you can only send out X number of requests per day. You
या
can't send more than that unless and until you are.
I get the feeling. I've done it from 1 to 5:30
Yeah,
a.m.
that day I realized, oh, this is also a limit that you can't send request as well in a day. And it goes to till a week. Like you have to wait one whole week to get it done. And the premium LinkedIn premium is not very cheap. I will say it's like 1,000
Yeah,
something
definitely.
for a
I
month,
get.
and when you're not earning it, it
Yeah,
burns
yeah, yeah.
holes in your pocket. So I
And I
was like,
mean, you're already spending on so many resources as well.
yeah. So back then, I think did the same thing that you did. Randomly, I was cold mail, writing cold mails,
Uh,
reaching out to recruiters, sending messages to managers, founders, trying to find interviews. So luckily, that company, it's called Visney. Uh, they somehow, accepted my profile and everything, and we started with the interviews things. In parallel, I got three more interviews with different companies in fintech, and I think one was with Salesforce as well, and one was
ah,
with HackerRank.
great.
So with these companies, I was giving interviews and everything. So there was a time where, like whole day, I was just giving interviews, and suddenly, like I applied for Amazon, I gave the test, and I didn't had any like hopes, frankly,
Yeah,
during that time, because there were a lot of news ki MNCs are on hiring freeze.
yeah.
They're just taking tests, they're not doing anything. Let it be any XYZ company. So I was like, okay, will it even happen or not? But I gave the test, and then, you know, After 2 weeks, I got a call from recruiter that hey, you have been shortlisted for an interview, and we're moving forward with the profile and everything. So I think that was the turning point because I was giving interviews, but I was not that much prepared.
Hmm.
A little bit was lacking, and the level of interviews you expect from Amazon is a lot. Like when you go to that fang level, it is, and you feel a different kind of pressure as well.
Yeah,
It's a big
unsaid.
that comes without saying. So I still remember that they gave me I think 1 week or 2 weeks of time, and I was
Hmm.
like, okay, now what do I need to do? I went up to my mom and I was like, it's either you can like have this opportunity of doing it, and I have this opportunity for Amazon. So she's like कि 3 महीने बचे हैं गेट तो नहीं होने वाला है तेरे को भी पता है मेरे को भी पता है एटलीस्ट फॉर Amazon you have prepared and तेरे
Yeah.
को illusion का ही time चाहिए so
Hmm.
give your 100% there. So I think it was one full week of just sitting and watching Striver.
Yeah, I remember you told me, I know.
Yeah, 1 week I was just sitting and watching Striver the complete day, the complete night, and there were few folks back then who I used to call them up and I used to take my mock interviews. So
Hmm.
from Coding Club India, I got a bunch of friends. Like there was this person called Divya, and she used to take my mock interviews at times, and she used to take some time out from her schedule and take the mock interviews every day. So I was giving everyday mock interviews and everything, and I think then I went for the interview round.
Yeah.
So Amazon, they told me that they will have four interviews.
Hmm.
First one will be purely on DSA, second one will be on OS and Linux. So first one went pretty well. They usually ask lead code standard, easy to medium
Hmm.
interview like questions, and on the same lines, it was majorly related to DP and cadence algorithm that were asked, and I was able to explain the whole approach from starting from brute force, going to optimization and everything. So I was able to tell, and they were pretty much happy. But when the second round of interview struck, it was very very difficult because that was completely based on Linux, and I didn't had a good hold on Linux back then, and I was a very much fresher person, and I majorly worked in my last two companies in backend, like one in backend and one in frontend, but I never got to be a part of a deployment or
Yeah.
checking logs and all those things
Yeah.
as an intern. But here they were expecting to give grep commands, awk commands, find the topmost IP addresses that were being used in a file, and those kinds of things, and writing bash scripts. I had zero idea. After the second round went, I was like, it didn't go that well. I had less hopes, but luckily they were like, your first round was very good and all, so we are going for a third round. So again, after 1 week of time, they scheduled a third round. Third
Hmm.
round was a managerial round.
Okay.
And that round was also same. It was related to some Linux shell scripting. By then, I got few of my friends who knew Linux, and I asked for some resources, saw some YouTube videos, practiced a little bit, and it was a good like I gave a good enough interview.
Hmm.
It was like basically both the things. It was a Linux shell scripting round with a logical question that the manager gave me. So I was able to explain the solution, and I opted that if I can write the
Yeah.
solution in a C++ language rather than
Hmm.
writing a shell script, because I told her that I'm not like very good with the shell
Comfortable with,
scripting,
right?
what do we say, format.
Hmm.
So she was fine with it, and she let me code it down completely in a normal language.
Hmm.
And yeah, and then later on, sure, we went with the leadership principles and the projects and my past work during my internships, where there were multiple questions that were asked, basically on what were the technologies used, what were the stacks.
Right.
After that, I got my final Amazon BR round, that is the bar raiser round.
Okay.
So BR can be very like it doesn't have a pattern. Like
Okay.
even if you go online today,
Mm-hmm.
everyone will say ki they can be asked very random things. Like there will the BR can ask you system design. The BR can go ahead and ask you a DSA question, or he can ask you normal grind you on your resume and everything.
Okay.
So that was it. But I asked the HR person ki, hey, what will be the format, and the person told me ki, hey, this will be the format where he will be asking mostly from your resume.
All right.
And the interview was running on the same lines ki, where started asking me questions regarding my resume, my projects,
Hmm.
my hackathons, and everything. So he asked me all those things, and I was able to explain it to them. And yeah, that is it. And I think after 1 week or 2 weeks after that, I got an offer from Amazon.
Right. So that's a great explanation. Rather, you give it in much of detail. I hope everyone really likes it. But just one thing from point of view of people who are not really sure in the difference, can you please slightly tell about how is the Linux round, different from the managerial round? Because you said in that also it was about Linux and scripts as well.
Mhm.
And with this itself, can you also tell which round for you, was the most difficult one and which was the easiest as well?
Okay, so for me, I felt the Linux round was the most difficult one because I have zero experience with Linux, and log how to check logs, how to
Huh.
write grep commands or awk
Hmm.
commands in a specific pattern. Like a normal grep you can do, but if they want a specific things, a specific pattern matching or a regex matching, or
Right.
you're given a file and then you have to show all the lines that are in a second column, then you should know that specific awk command
Hmm.
and do operations on that awk command using a pipe or sort them in a certain way. So back then I didn't know. I think that this is something that comes with experience. When you are using Linux every day for
Agreed.
debugging your issues and everything, then you will have it. Otherwise I don't think so it comes. Otherwise, like, you won't have it
Yeah,
so
I
easily.
mean, agreed.
So yeah, yeah, that was there. For me, the easy part that I felt was like DSA was a little bit easier for me because I had a practice on it. So it felt a little bit easier, but I can't say any round with Amazon was easy. Like, there was some pressure back of the mind that
Yeah.
was going on, but the hardest I felt was the Linux one because I never gave an interview where they were asking me, grep commands or awk commands and all
Hmm.
those things. So I didn't have any idea, and it was very much new to me. And the folks that
Of
were with
course.
me as well didn't had any ideas with how
Yeah,
did
of course. I
these.
mean, if we've not worked on it, so we just know the basics of it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And even in Geeks for Geeks, I was not able to find that much data or online websites that I present.
so it just keeps incrementing with days. Sometimes even on Geeks for Geeks, it's like very limited for certain
Yeah.
topics. So until or unless someone posts something about that particular topic, it just remains the same to the date. So, and yeah, also about, how that Linux round was different from managerial Linux round. Like, why was there another round about Linux?
I think it's more on the managerial round are mostly, like based on the past two debriefs or kind of things they usually ask. But mine, though, they said it to me that, oh, hey, we will have one more round on Linux. Maybe because
Hmm.
of the fact that I was
Yeah.
not that good, and they gave me one more
So
try
that's
on it.
good you practiced on that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that's a great explanation, and I loved hearing your experience in depth. I think I knew it the most, but still, I discovered few new sides to it.
Mhm.
Uh, I just have one very common question these days. It was not a question back when we were graduating mostly, but these
Mhm.
days, every time I open my, LinkedIn, uh, I see a lot of people posting about strategies to do DSA, and they mainly cover DSA patterns. Their main focus is that don't do 300, 400 questions, do DSA patterns. Do these 50 questions, and you're like good to go, just because they're from different patterns. What is your view on that? How important do you think that strategy is, that really is, and how impactful do you think that is? So let me just put it in one more way so I'm clear on what I'm asking. Whether a person should be doing DSA pattern wise, or the person should be doing DSA data structures wise, because I've seen a lot of people who maybe they start with arrays because they feel the most comfortable in arrays. Then after arrays, they automatically leap on to linked list.
Mhm.
They're like, okay, this is something. I mean, when I say arrays, I mean arrays and string questions
Yeah.
combined. And then they, move to linked list. They feel more confident, and then they, but I think that does take a lot of time as well. So kindly give, your opinion on that as well.
I will.
Specifically for fan companies, I'm asking.
Oh. I'll give a very generic and straightforward that is like
Definitely.
related to all the companies, not even FANG.
Okay.
It depends upon the person, like whether the person is an experienced person or a fresher. If you're a fresher and if you're starting DSA today and you have an interview tomorrow, and if I say, hey, do these 50 problems, these are the patterns that they will be asking for, and tomorrow you'll be able to crack the interview, it's not possible because you will get the hang of those 50 patterns. Somehow you will ratta maar lo, jo bhi karna hai, you will do that, and at the end you will learn those 50 problems. But the point with when it comes to DSA is like the question will be very generic when you read it, and then you can't sit in an interview and try the 50 things again and again. Okay, this fits in the box or not, this fits in the box or not.
Right.
So that is there. That's why, during college, I feel that if you're a fresher, if you don't have any experience with DSA or anything, go explore all the patterns and everything. Do a good amount of problems. Like once you go to that point where you have done 300 or 400 problems, you yourself will start figuring out, okay, this is the pattern this problem is asking for, and if I run this algorithm, this will work. But you just do the 50 problems, and tomorrow I'll give you a random question, you might not be able to crack it.
Yeah.
And secondly, the say that you said, ki, okay, if I do 50 problems, so it is useful for a person who's already, in pace. And if they have an interview, they
Right.
can't, go and revise the complete 300 list. That
Naturally.
is not even possible, humanly possible, to go do the 300 problems. So if for them, it's better, see the top 50 patterns and everything. That will also give them a gist of things and, have a good revision kind of a thing. And then they can go ahead and simply give the
Yeah.
interview. That
So
will help to them. So yeah.
So, just to summarize, what I took from your answer is, so let's divide it into two parts. One part is for people who are freshers, maybe, right? Or maybe just about to graduate in their third or fourth year,
Hmm.
applying for internships or some opportunities. And the other is people from 1 to 3 years of
Yeah.
experience, as an engineer, right? Maybe
Yeah.
software or system developer engineer, but in that way.
Yeah, and mostly, just to make it more clear, like if you're a person who's doing DSA every day,
Right.
then you should go with the 50 patterns. But if you are not doing, and if you're like going to start DSA today, or if you're in first or second year, or you haven't done DSA for the whole 4 years of college and you
Right.
just for an interview, then those 50 questions, then it's luck. Then you can say it's lucky. Okay, I did these 50 questions. The interviewer asked the same question that was present in these 50.
Yeah, I think that's pretty rare. At
That's
least I've just not heard it so much.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know.
So then it comes to luck कि जो 50 थे उसमें से आपको एक आ गया. Then
I know. So yeah, people from college, specifically third, fourth year, they should definitely go data structure wise,
yeah, they
because
should.
I think it also clears up their concepts more than just randomly going to patterns.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
should definitely
so,
go with the
and for
data
people
structure.
with 1 to 3 years of experience who are even, doing it for some switch or something, I think, as per a conversation, patterns works best for them if they are still in touch with DSA.
Yeah,
Because there are still people, who are doing job for like, let's say 1 year, 2 years, but they do not do DSA for those
yeah.
amount of time. So they are not even in touch. So I
Hmm.
think even they should first clear up from base, maybe a week or so, revise it all, and then get to it, right? So I that's great actually. Moving on, I feel we've pretty much covered a lot of it, right? Uh, Maybe I'll just ask you some advice for not just Amazon aspirants, but also people who are aspiring to be software engineers or some sort of engineers that really involve coding of any
Hmm.
type. So, because I think DSA is more or less part of almost all interviews. If you have to
Hmm.
code if you have to develop softwares or something, you really need DSA. So, what will be your advice for those aspirants?
I think right now there are a lot of resources that are present on internet.
And sorry to interrupt, but this advice I think will be best given if I divide it again.
Okay.
One advice for freshers, right? Who are third, 4 year people, and then another advice is for people who are just starting up in
Hmm.
their first years, because in first year people are like really baffled about where they should do it. And even I think I explored almost every subject to figure out what I was doing. And the third will be for people who are from 1 to 3 years of experience, who might also want to get
Hmm.
promoted or want to switch to a better company.
Hmm.
So how will that go? In that, for the experience part, I also want you to get in touch with system design as well, and the impact of it, how much system design is important uh, in relation to DSA, like which is more important, or they are equal, or how does that ratio go?
Got it. So, starting from the question, like starting with the college folks first.
Right.
So, the folks who are in the first year of college, firstly, they should start, like, if you're a person who has a CS background already, like during the 11th and 12th,
Yeah.
like they just need to brush up their concepts of arrays and everything, and they can start with Hacker Earth or Hacker Rank. Like, these are very beginner friendly websites where they can find questions and get some star ratings and everything. And once that is done, CodeChef is a very good platform. Initially,
Hmm.
it feels very overwhelming at CodeChef, but like you can have these during our college time, there was this A2 OJ ladder. It had
Hmm.
questions based on the ratings. So from easy to medium, it will slowly grow up. And there are people who are, continuously doing these ladders. So you can find YouTube explanation videos on how to do it and everything. And once you have done like 200 or 300 questions from CodeChef, you can slowly move to lead code. So the reason that I'm saying like from CodeChef to lead code is that
Hmm.
you'll get a like chance of competitive programming, how it works, because it's more of a sports there, and lead code is more of a daily thing that you
Self-paced, right?
daily training. Yeah. So a clear cut thing between competitive programming and lead code is like competitive programming is more like you're doing playing cricket or football daily, and I think lead code is just going to the gym and lifting weights. That is the proper thing that I can give you.
Yeah, and you increase weights based on your time
Yeah,
in gym.
on your time. But here in a field of cricket or football, anything can happen at any point of time. So that is how competitive programming works.
High
Uh,
risk, high demand.
yeah, half is kind of. And I'll say the people who do competitive programming are very good with the problem solving approaches.
Agreed.
Like I was not lucky enough to be one of the chosen people.
Yeah.
If you know Isha, I don't know whether you remember that person or not. Dipanshu Pandey, he was from our college.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that person is really great with competitive programming. Like
Yeah, I've
he
heard his name.
yeah, call me Pandey. I think for the folks who are watching, you can just search "Call Me Pandey," and he's coming first or second on lead code contest. Like it feels like it's a piece of cake for him, but that guy is the real OG. I'll say
Yeah.
in this field. So yeah.
I mean, people really, I even met this one guy back in college time, and I've never, ever seen him in college. He
Hmm.
was doing so much competitive programming. He was so, like, further from all of us, that I just felt that, is he our batchmate? Like, he was already working in Google from his second year.
Hmm.
And
Yeah, there were some people who were just
yeah, so I mean,
testing
those are
their
rare to
confidence
find,
and just
but
doing
they
it.
are there.
Hmm.
So yeah, continue. Kindly
Yeah.
continue.
So, like, start with these, then eventually move to lead code. If you need a person or a playlist to watch for, like, for guidance and all, Striver is the best content that you can get.
Agreed,
No
agreed.
doubt, you can blindly, start watching his videos. The way he explains dynamic programming, trees, or recursion, I don't think so right now any person on the like internet or YouTube will be able to do it. So you can follow this for DSA. At the same,
Hmm.
I feel you should also explore development. So what I did during my first year was that I tried all the
Hmm.
different things: Android, IoT, ML and AI, whatever things that I could get my hands on. I tried. Then I was like, okay, I've tried these 5 to 6 different things. I like this one thing that is full stack development. I'll
Hmm.
go ahead,
Hmm.
make it my niche. And I started working on those. So that I
You
did.
also
But
tried
at
open
the same,
source in your first year?
sorry?
You also tried open source in your first year?
Open source I couldn't try. Open source
Hmm.
mostly I got to know about open source during my second or third year. Like I knew
Yeah.
how Git works and everything, but I didn't know how to contribute, what to do because we didn't have any much like guidance and all.
Yeah.
Then I think that October or some fest goes on, right, with Open Fest, Dev October Fest. So they used to give swags and all to increase people's contributions to open source. So during that time, we had some
I thought you
thing
were
that
talking about college fest. I was like, there are so
no,
many
no,
that
no, no,
keeps
no,
going.
not
Like,
in
I don't
college.
recall. Okay.
I
Yeah.
think GitHub runs it. It's called Hacktober. Yeah, Hacktober.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. That
Yeah,
I've
so
heard.
that happened, and during that time, I got to know, okay, this is how open source works. This is how you contribute and everything. In between college, I also got an opportunity from Microsoft, where Microsoft was looking for people who have contributed to open source.
Ah.
And if you have not contributed to open source, they also gave a timeline of 1 month, I guess, to contribute to uh, a certain project in C sharp. Like they had a
Hmm.
requirement that you have to contribute to a certain project that is written in C sharp. So that is also there. I think Microsoft does this nationwide, where they go to all the colleges in India and
Yeah.
they ask
I
people to
think a
go.
lot of such things are happening these days. Like almost every company, I think they have certain type of program they are launching for freshers as well. And for females also, there are very specific programs.
Yeah, I think there are girl drives that all the companies run through.
Yeah.
So that is still going on. And plus, off-campus drives like Amazon has Hack-On. Microsoft also started something recently. I heard from the juniors,
Yeah.
uh, internship program that they run. And JP Morgan has their code hackathon or something
Yeah, I
that they,
think they have their hackathon.
yeah. So all the companies, I think major tech companies have, like Tally also has their own hackathon that they run for hiring. And yeah, I think a good bunch of companies are hiring through hackathons these
Okay.
days. That's one
So
thing that I'm
that
seeing.
sums up for the freshers, probably first and second year of people. Now let's move on to third and fourth. That's the critical one, right?
Third and fourth, like by the time you're in third and fourth year, you should have good projects in your resume. I think in the current period of time, everyone has that Netflix clone or
Hmm.
yeah, like Swiggy clone. I think that is a very common project that you can find in any next resume that you pick it up. So
Yeah.
I think you can go up a level to notch your game, like uh, read about distributed systems or Redis, not in that much depth, but overall, okay, how Redis works or how Memcache works, and try to create your own Redis local server and everything, and try to run on it. That's a very good thing to do. And secondly, the Zomato live chat feature, that support thing that they have. Like I do remember there is one very good startup company that reached out. I forgot the name. They expected me to create an automated chat assignment system. So whenever a user comes online and they cut a ticket, the number of people, like the number of support persons that are there, it should be auto assigned to them.
Okay.
That and if all of them are busy, they should give an ETA key. Okay, by this time the next person should come in.
Understood.
So that kind of a thing. They wanted an end-to-end application with the chat working and everything. So yeah, by third or fourth year, I'll say have good projects and try to cover all the areas. Like have one niche where like let us say for me it was full stack development, where I created a very good project using torrent and everything. So that was one of my niche, and rest you can go ahead and explore some basic projects in AI and ML or Android or anything. So you will have an area to showcase,
Right.
ki, okay, I created these projects, and this will basically help you in your starting days of applying to be very versatile. You will get a lot of opportunities, because if you have an Android project and one full stack and one AI/ML, and tomorrow if some startup comes or some MNC comes and they're like, okay, we need someone with Kotlin, you can
Yeah.
showcase, yeah, I made this project and everything in
So
Kotlin.
yeah, I do have idea about that, right?
I do have an idea. So this will make you versatile.
Agreed. So diverse projects and trying to get a bit more advanced than the usual ones. That's right, because even I've seen like
Yeah.
8 out of 10, they do have clones of one or the other thing for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. Everyone
Right?
like that project, like
Yeah.
Netflix clone, Amazon clone.
Clone is something,
Clone is something
yeah.
that very, very common these days.
Yeah,
Like,
either
and
it's chatbot or clone.
yeah, even if you're making a clone, I will suggest go to a microservice architecture.
Hmm.
Create multiple microservices. Like, don't have a single service that is running in the back end. Create multiple microservices
Agreed.
and explain it to
So
the
doing
person.
it with a twist, basically,
Yeah, doing it with
Yeah.
the twist, like get something different. Like, I can also create a single monolithic architecture, and
Hmm.
like that everyone is doing. So, take it up a
Hmm.
bit up, and
You'll also learn about a new architecture that you
yeah,
might not know about.
create
Agreed.
it architecture, design,
I
and
think
everything.
even I made a project. The niche was really common, but I think what I did different was maybe I chose the technologies very differently,
Yeah.
not the usual one, right? Like in
Mm.
that, for the first time, I used Postgres. I've never used Postgres
Yeah.
before it. I used Fast API. I've never used Fast API before. So it was a normal project, common topic, but just technologies were different. So what it helped me to learn those technologies, because I think by doing you learn more than
Yeah.
just by reading. I don't think I can really read that much of technology. I'll
Hmm.
eventually get bored out of it, I feel.
Yeah.
Until or unless it's about how something is working,
Hmm.
that I can read. But I think you agree to that. Maybe if you want to suggest certain books on certain topics, then also you can, if you are into books, or are you into just videos or
I think
articles?
there were two books. One is, it's called Cracking the Coding Interviews in 30 Minutes. It's a
Right.
very good read that you can,
Very popular too.
very popular as well. There is one more, Data Structures and Algorithms, by an Indian author only. I'm not able to recall the
Hmm.
name. I'll share the link. I think you can put it in your
Yeah,
description.
I can. I'll put it in the description of this video.
Yeah, so that is there. And one more thing, like, for freshers, usually they don't understand how much weightage whiteboarding or writing on pen and paper first means. Like, when I
Hmm.
joined college in the initial days, we had our professor Ashish sir, and he used to tell us, कि whenever a question is given to you, first
I,
write it on a
uh-huh.
whiteboard or pen and paper, and try to solve it on pen and paper, and then only code it down.
Yeah.
And that actually helps.
Yeah, it actually, I think it gives that, human touch, because at the end we're not robots. Like if I
Yeah,
ask you, okay, Siddharth, just tell me, make me this. So you're not like, okay, I have that process in my head, one, two, three, and click enter. No, even I think till this date also, even though we are not much of experienced guys, right? We are just into the
yeah,
one, two, three band of experience itself. But I still like, first, whenever I have to do something, I write it on paper. I make a rough diagram or something,
yeah.
and then only I explain it very well.
Yeah, because that helps you to, firstly get
Clear
more
your
idea on it
thoughts, and yeah,
and find the edge cases. Like, once you start writing it down, you will find the edge cases, you'll find areas where your code might fail.
agreed.
But once you start coding it down in your head, it is like, okay, it's correct only. And
Yeah.
today as well, like when we are doing any designing or writing any
Hmm.
logic or anything in our company, we first get it on a whiteboard and draw out everything, and then we challenge it. Okay, this might fail here, this might
Yeah.
go wrong.
So, okay, so for these, I think we've covered just a very quick tip for 1 to 3 years experience of people as well, because I don't think we really need to elaborate on it much for them.
Yes. 1 to 3 years, like DSA, they usually have it cracked.
Hmm.
Uh, how to do DSA and everything. Like, Striver is the best
They
source
should
that
go
you
for
can get.
pattern based learning, that as you mentioned
Pattern-based
before,
learning,
right?
and Striver has this top 75 questions
Yeah.
list. You can go, and you can watch some videos from Neat Code as well. They're pretty much
Hmm.
straightforward and go through patterns.
And
So, 1 to 3 years,
about
and
system design, how much that
system design.
really
System
matters.
design, I think it matters a lot once you're in that experience band,
Yeah.
because people do expect to create complex projects or complex things for their companies and everything. So you should have a good hold on system designs.
Agreed.
I think system designs in general as well. Sometimes I also, whenever I get times on the weekend, I open up some YouTube playlist and try to watch some system designs to get an over idea.
Yeah.
Or if I'm stuck in any problem statement, then I'll open up something on YouTube or read through some documentations, and
Agreed.
how big companies, like I think Hotstar's documentation of how they're handling a number of like 1 CR or 2 CR people watching together is very good documentation, and how their senior engineers gave it in. That's one of the very good documentations and YouTube videos I found. I
Yeah.
think as an engineer, you should watch it.
Okay.
Uh, Secondly, I think there's this Gaurav Sain. I think he creates very good
Hmm.
playlist on how to create, like how to do system design, and he breaks it down very nicely. So
Yeah, I've
I
seen
think
his videos.
can, freshers can also watch it. The ones
Hmm.
who are in
I
college to
think
get an idea.
freshers should also actually watch it because
Yeah,
I think once I joined corporate, after 7 months of being in corporate, first thing I realized is I should have learned system design before. Because in my first 7 months, I was doing coding, but
hmm,
I was doing it and realizing it how it is.
got it.
But when I started reading and learning system design, I was like, that was not magical. It's
Hmm.
based on certain concept, it's based
Yeah.
on certain idea. Like, okay, if you're uploading a picture, that's based on certain system
Hmm.
design. Like, that's
Hmm.
how we upload the picture. There's a design. So it just blew my mind, and I was like, why was not I was not, reading it before. It would have
Got.
helped me. So I think
Yeah.
system design is something even fourth year people should be learning at this point.
System design, once you're in third or fourth year, you should start
Yeah,
with system design
definitely. I
basics,
feel.
how a load balancer works, how queues works, and
Yeah,
everything. I think they should go
agreed.
through those things.
I think that's the basic, like load balancing and all. Those are the really basic things we all should be doing. So I feel that's a very good quota of time
Mm.
to be given on
Yeah.
advices, and I feel this is a pretty genuine advice, because these are the issues we actually faced
Yeah.
together. So yeah, I mean, those are the questions I do have. I don't have any more because that's pretty much all I wanted to share. But
Mm.
before leaving, I do have a fun rapid fire round for you. And it has
Sure.
to be rapid. You can't take time. If you take time, I'll change the question.
Sure. Sure.
Okay, so first, hardest on-call incident for you.
Hardest on-call incident. It was my change only where I did a Java version upgrade, and there was some library that lost access. So
Okay.
basically, what happened? Once you move from a specific Java version to another
Hmm.
specific Java version, it was a very major upgrade.
Okay.
We were going from a very legacy version to the latest, one of the latest versions, and a lot of libraries have moved out of from the, I think, JV.
Happened with me too. Oh
Yeah,
God, please.
JDK internal, I think, access things, and once they move, you have to pass in JVM args to get
Hmm.
back the access, and that thing didn't get caught during compile time, because during compiling it was not accessing the object. It was just
Hmm.
compiling it and keeping it.
Hmm.
Once the actual flow started going through, then when it tried to access that object, it was like, yeah, I'm not able to access the object because it's not present anymore, or it started giving that error.
Yeah, I understand.
We were not able to find it in testing because there were multiple flows, and we didn't know that this flow is breaking. We thought we have covered it, but when it actually went till or like one of the testing stages where we were getting the prod traffic, so we started seeing
Easy.
failures, and then we had to roll back the whole thing, although
Yeah.
it didn't cause a major outage or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was one of the most hectiest on call experience that I have.
I totally I understand. I mean, I had a similar one. We'll talk about it someday later. But yeah, so the second is what's your favorite debugging tool?
As in, like, I usually use CloudWatch or logs
Okay.
plus the metrics things.
Yeah.
So
Makes sense.
I
That's
think
the
the
answer.
logs plus metrics, yeah, that's it.
Okay, Bash or Python?
Python.
Python. Okay. I thought it was Bash on my side, I thought. Okay.
Okay.
Logs or matrix? Your lives. Okay, both. Great
Both.
answer.
Because you
Uh,
need both.
yeah, we do need everything. Okay, the last one is pretty much interesting. If not an engineer, what would you be?
If not an engineer, I do think that product management is a very great role to be at, like, or a technical product manager. I think, like, in Amazon, we do have a separate terms for tech and non-tech PMs. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. I think most companies do now.
okay. So
Even
yeah,
startup these days, they do have tech and non-tech PMs.
yeah. So mostly a tech PM. That will be one thing that I would like to be at.
I didn't know that. What interests you to be a tech PM?
It is close to the product design as well, and as close to an engineering perspective. So you have both the things there, I feel.
All right. It was great interacting, Siddharth. And thanks for sharing your experience and knowledge for all of us. I did learn a few things from you as well, and I keep learning on our occasional conversations.
Yeah.
Yeah, to
Not so
call.
occasional right now, not so occasional. I'll say I think it's been long. We have to connect as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that'll be pretty much it. And thanks for coming again and giving your time despite a busy day. But yeah, anything else you want to say, or is that it?
I think that's it. Nothing else. Like all the best
Great.
to the folks who are preparing. Yeah.
Definitely, definitely. And I think one thing I'd also like to add on the advice that I asked you to give is never compare your timeline to anyone,
Yeah, never compare
right?
to.
Because I think at every point of being an engineer, you'll always feel that you're not enough, right? You'll always feel that insecure feeling within you that no, I'm still not that expert. People around me are so,
Yeah.
beyond me. But that's not it. I mean, you starting from somewhere else, you're going to a place, and your dynamics are totally different. So please be kind to yourself and don't compare it yourself to anyone's journey. Trust yourself. Just consistency is what matters at the end. Keep doing even if it's for 1 hour a day.
Yeah.
Just do that. Okay, thank you everyone for watching this. And if you really like this video, do subscribe and like and share. You can tell in comments if you want some second part with Siddharth on anything specific. I knew you were gonna do that. You were
Like,
he
subscribe, and share.
like, subscribe and share. Okay, thank